One word is enough, and I'm no longer so rough. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know I send me a pick a flee. Me have to take away me say. Me have to take away me say. Me have to hide like a thief in the night. Me have to get out of sight. Me have to take away me self. Have to take away myself. I have to utilize I wings. Show the eye cleave where I is. I said, yeah. I find you very hard to resist. But this
Greetings, kings and queens. Welcome to another Real Stuff podcast. Today is Wednesday, and when it's Wednesday, we have our feature, Caribbean feature. So today, our Caribbean feature, we're going to be talking about music. Yes, and it's a good time to talk about music based on what is happening right now around the world. So I'm going to be having a panel of people going to be joining in, and we're going to talk about music, all type of music, Caribbean music, all different genre of music, you name it. So in case you got to go get your tea, your coffee, I would suggest you go and get it now, and then we'll be right back.
Through the door, take away ourselves.
Up. I rise up, sunrise shining, new day dawning, giving hope and inspiration. Up, way up. Give thanks for blessings, great and small. Give thanks for loved ones near and far. Give thanks for health, strength, and prosperity. Up, way up. Like one, standing straight and strong. First and foremost, I say one. One aim, one destiny, one love. Up, positively. Up.
Up, the music of Oku Honora. Yes, so we have to rise it up this morning because a lot of people are having, some down vibes this morning. So, we want to see if we can raise the spirit this morning of all those who are, a bit down. So, let me ask, what's happening in your neck of the woods this morning? I see Flavius is here. I see Courtney is here. And Harold is here with us. So, Harold, I'm going to start with you first. What's happening in your neck of the woods?
Your team and the listeners everywhere. In my neck of
Recording
the
in progress.
which I looked out through the window and seen that the sun is shining. Everybody always begins with that, so it's a trend. In terms of news, a poll has been running on one of our major radio stations by a reputable pollster.
Okay.
And the last 2 days have been quite telling for the political parties. The first, People's National Party was given a more than unflattering review, and the same in many ways with respect to the ruling JLP and the Prime Minister. The ratings have fallen, as they say, precipitously. And commentators are saying that there is no honeymoon for this government. Of course, the COVID-19 pandemic has certainly been part of it. But I suppose if there is any good thing out of this low ratings, the JLP has been advised not to gloat that their bad is better than the bad of the People's National Party. So that is something to keep people on their legs, and our nation will be better off. Before I go, finally, with respect to that, the party standings will be announced by that same pollster. And that pollster has a reputation of near accuracy most times, if not all the time. And so, although we're not fully focused on election, it is always good for the parties, ruling party and the party in waiting to be government, to see what the people think and snapshot a view in time. And that is what I would say is happening in Jamaica on the political scene. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Can I just say?
Wait, no, Flavius, we are come to you, We're coming to you. Don't worry yourself. We're coming to you. Courtney, what's happening in your neck of the woods? Courtney. All right, let's go to you then, Flavius, and then we'll go to Courtney after. What's happening in your neck of the woods?
No, not about my neck of the woods. I just wanted to continue what Harold was saying. And a point that people need to look at with these polls now, and the Labour Party and the People's National Party. In 1980, the Jamaica Labour Party under Edward Seaga got a similar mandate, and they had to call elections 2.5 years after. So it's no different. Not very easy to manage with a mandate like what they have. That is my follow-up to what Aaron was saying.
All right. So what's happening in your neck of the woods now?
A bleakish, sunnish day. I guess it will unfold as the day goes on. And the whole atmosphere is more laid back like it used to be, as opposed to the past 3 weeks where everything was rushy and crowds and traffic jams and whatever. So basically on that side, things are kind of going back to normal,
There's no normal if the pandemic is on. Anyway, Courtney, what's happening in your neck of the woods?
Well, morning to everyone, morning to crew, morning to our listeners and viewers. In my neck of the woods, it's overcast and warm because it's like 76 degrees, kind of unusual. But I know it's going to be changing later, and it's going to be raining anytime soon, I guess. But overall, wonderful day. You know, as the army here woke up, you know. So I am up. And once you're up and above ground, you know, you have to give thanks and praises, you know.
True. All right, so that's what's happening in all of your neck of the woods. Well, my neck of the woods, I won't even give no forecast on it because it's sunny, shining, and I know we're going to happen later on because this is Florida, and you know our weather, it can change anytime. What I'm going to do now, I have another moment of silence, and this one is for a sister Angel in Zion, who lost her mom yesterday. Angel and I worked on reggaenostalgia internet radio back in about 7 years ago. We used to do a lot of live broadcasts on a Sunday morning, and she was in charge of the gospel program. We used to have a program we call the Sunday Gospel Train, and that train used to run from oh my gosh, man, that train used to choo Miami-Dade County, and through the help of Angel, she did a tremendous job and helped grow our listenership. So this morning, you know, I said I was going to pay my respect to her mom by just having a moment of silence, and then I play one of Angel's songs that she did. It was a tribute to her mother, and then we get into our discussion. So a moment of silence, please. Yes, Science. So on behalf of the Real Stuff Podcast and Reggaenostalgia Internet Radio, our condolence goes out to you and your family. Yes, people, welcome. For those of you inside the YouTube chat room, welcome to the Real Stuff Podcast. Let me acknowledge Tanya, who's another worker on the front line. Tanya, big up to you and all the nurses over there. I don't even want to call your workplace because I don't know if you're on the job listening, but big ups to all of you and the nurses this morning and the doctors on the front line who are helping out there. All right, this morning, I see Flavius with him big mug there, man. Gosh. This morning, gents, we're going to be talking about music. We're on the discussion of music again. And especially at this time where we know people are going through a lot of stuff. Mental health is on the rise in so many different, age groups, because they're saying, I don't know, I think Flavors was touting it the other day that teenage suicide is one of the things that is on the rise. So I don't like to see men at work, but that's what we are this morning. Men at work. So, next time I'm going to bring some women, okay? Invite some female, man. We're tired for seeing the men's at work. So, without any further ado, I think I'm gonna give the floor to Courtney this morning. Kick it off, Courtney.
Okay, thanks, Ronco. Talking about music, you would also have to look, since we're in the Caribbean, talk about Caribbean music, and we know that you have, a whole lot of genres of Caribbean music, namely calypso, soca in that eastern part of the Caribbean, and in Jamaica we have ska, rock steady, up and to reggae. We see, these genre of music transcending or transition into reggae. But, I just like to really I like ska music because ska was like the original music of the people, because back in those days, when they were playing music, it was just like a big band type of music, and the people uptown, were, listening to these big band music, the bands that were in existence at the time were playing this type of music, and then come ska music, from the people, like from the Scatterlights. And we know about the Scatterlights that the members of the band were actually from Alpha. Most of them were like in school together, and they came out and formed this band. And we know something about ska that is more or less some derivation. It's derived from jazz kind of music, but with maybe a more up-tempo dancing thing, So, and it became the music of the people. So, when the people, because the masses of the people couldn't attend all of these, kind of dances and stuff uptown, because we understand the class divide at the time, with the political, economic, you name it, there were some big social differences at the time. So, when this music starts to, really, encourage the masses to be partying and dancing, having a good time, the people uptown started to realize the changes, and, they wanted a part of this music. And we notice in the recordings, if you listen, like the differences of the Scatterlights and Byron Lee playing ska, or, other bands like Lynn Tate and the Comets, these bands, you'd hear the differences in their music. So, and then we look from the ska going to the rock steady, it's just like the change of chords and the music slowed down a bit. And just to let it known that, to me, rocksteady is the best music that have come out of Jamaica. I know that this is just my opinion, But I know people have their various opinions and their likes and their preferences. So I'll just leave it at that for someone to pick up. Back to you, Franco.
All right. Who wants to go next? Errol, you want to go next?
Flavius, I think he will give us a very good foundation if he's ready.
Yeah, but Flavius not ready. You go ahead.
All right. A disclaimer, I'm not a musicologist. And as Courtney would say, it's opinion.
Yeah.
But then whatever opinion I give will be recorded and attributed to the Real Stuff podcast. And therefore, I would just like to say on behalf of the Real Stuff podcast, I am not a musicologist. Although I have interest in music, having been involved with music for over 30 odd years. And as I said in another program recently, music helped to save me in my darkest hour. However, I would like to make 2 points in this beginning here. I agree with Courtney that based on love, Rocksteady is one of the loved. I wouldn't say the best because best is relative to taste, but Rocksteady was good. Most of the songs I used to sing and rock with and want to be a singer was Rocksteady music. But then reggae music is so tough and pulsating that it's difficult to say. Ska was so joyful. When we were going to school and Toots and the Metals bringing out Ska, it was such a joy. Going back to the days of Lord Creator and Jackie Opel, those people sang some songs that, so music in every era and every genre of it is being captivating. Well, dancehall is here. I don't see it as a replacement for reggae. I admire the dancehall creatives. Only God knows how they chat so fast, sing J so fast from memory, and seem to remember what they want to say. Big up to those DJs who can do that. Of course, if I may be critical without being individually focused, some of the lyrics, as Flavius said the other day, can do more, can improve to help the music last. Because believe it or not, all our genres of music will last. That's one. Secondly, I would like to encourage persons who are involved in music today that they may not be getting the highlight and the forward. Not everybody is going to have the lucky, quick, magical break like Coffee. And not everybody will just step up like Chronics and others who are blazing a trail. Not everybody will be a Shaggy or a Sean Paul same time. But take this from Bob Marley's life. When Bob Marley was breaking and producing, apparently writing, I remember somebody saying, this man seemed to write a song every day. And it really seemed so. Bob Marley died at 36. Everybody should know that he's 36, he died. And yet he has recorded more music. Maybe it's only Dennis Brown, stand corrected by Flavius, who recorded more music than Bob Marley. But then Bob Marley music was not loved and liked and embraced. I recall it being said that he had to go down to one of our radio stations with a crowd to threatening to do things because they wouldn't play his music. I remember when one of his songs came out in 1980, I think, Too Much Trouble in the World, Marley music. I didn't like the song, not because I don't like minor chord songs. But then that song is one of the most relevant songs ever. So I'm encouraging people who are doing music. You may not be getting the highlight and the forward because you're not prepared to pay the price to get a bus, but do your work, lay it down for history. I myself, in closing, have recorded music, maybe more than many big artists. Many of my tracks are unreleased, incomplete. I have a lot of music that are not played. Maybe I would say I've hit songs that have never been played. But guess what? I am doing it not just for me, for popularity and money and fame, but for posterity. And I believe that the music will find its place and find its purpose. If you work with purpose and you plan with purpose, the purpose will be achieved. And I thank you.
All right, Errol, thank you. Errol, I was in a studio once, a prominent recording studio. And the same thing that you mentioned about Bob Marley, go down to the radio station with a crowd. I heard a different version of it. It wasn't a crowd.
Yes.
It was just one person that said.
Okay.
And the disc jockey was going in the studio, and the individual called him and said, play this today. And he said, I can't play it because the program director already outlined the list of music for play. Mm-hmm. And him say, well, remember, you are come out in another program director.
Message,
so the song did play that day. And that's all, because I have a CD that was given to me also, and it named Portrait of Jamaica Music. And in it, Bonnie Goodison mentioned about a famous...
Mighty Burner.
Yeah, about a disc jockey who used to be on the radio named Charlie Babcock.
Yes, man.
And he never play rocksteady music. No, I just play foreign music.
White guy, yes.
And a musician came to my studio once and was telling me one of the reasons why ska came about was because Jamaican artists were patronizing the music of foreign music, which was a doo-wop at the time. And by them, singing, they were trying to sing songs, cover versions, foreign songs, so that it could play on the radio station, because that's the only way. And if you notice, most of the songs that was done in ska, not ska, rocksteady, I'm not going to say most. Let me take back the most.
Yes.
Some artists who did a lot of songs in rocksteady back then, most of them were cover versions.
Yes.
And it's I can attest to it, because I was in Jamaica one year and I was listening to a young lady named Heather something. I can't remember her last name.
Yes.
And she had a radio program on here, and she played some music that night.
Heather Grant, was it?
I think so. She was on RJR. She was working on one of those RJR radio stations.
Yes.
And she had this program, and she played some wicked foreign tune. And let me tell you, for every one of those foreign tunes that she played, Alton Ellis, Delroy Wilson, John Walt, Dennis Brown, a whole lot of artists back then sang some of those songs.
Yes.
And it surprised me. I was like, even there was a Alton Ellis song that was a song that I love. And when I heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, it's a cover. So I came back and I made a list, and I call it Reggae versus Souls.
Yes.
And I could pick out songs that was done in American genre.
Yes.
And it was done over in rocksteady by Jamaican artists.
Yes.
All right, Flavius, let me hear your bits and pieces.
Okay, my bits and pieces that every time you have discussion about music, not much is said about the largest population of people who are involved in the music. Everything is geared at the artists, producers, arrangers, directors, and whatever. But we look at music seriously. The largest population of people who deal with music is the consumers. We out there who listen and enjoy the music. And without that, big, large amount of consumers, then music couldn't be what it is today. So it's something that we need to look at, because the musicians put the music out there so people can enjoy and listen, and but at times we kind of forget that there's a set of people out there who's making the music worth it, make sense. And the next thing again we have to look at is that Caribbean music is not only the ones that Courtney, spoke about. Cause we have like salsa and we have merengue, and you have all the music that comes from like Cuba and the other Spanish countries in the Caribbean. And all of them played a major part in shaping the other more popular music form, more popular in this area. They played a serious role into the development of music in Jamaica and in Trinidad, who are the two most distinctive Caribbean music forms. So that is, and another thing you have to look at with the music. A lot of our music, or the start of our music, actually came with us from Africa when we came here. We brought a lot of this stuff with us, and then a lot of mergers went on, and even with that, another major thing in the music is the creation of instruments. Like banjo. Just say that the banjo was created in Jamaica, and there's no doubt that the steel pan belongs to Trinidad. So there's a lot of areas that we have to look at in the music, and and how people use even the regular instruments in a different form, so we can get a distinct genre then from it. As you hear a song start, say yes, this is a reggae song, this is a Jamaican song, this is a calypso song, And we have to look at the whole thing of the social commentary was very big in Jamaica during rocksteady days, and of course very big in Trinidad during calypso. So music, and if you look at the things that music can attach to, even this morning when we played a song for Angel's mother, there's another use of music in a very, very positive way.
Yeah.
So that is my start.
By the way, Franco, if I may interject, I have invited on your behalf, your team's behalf, Clyde P. Mackenzie, Sir Mackenzie, who is a noted musicologist. He is very busy, but he said that he will try and pop in. So if you see him come up, you will recognize him. Clyde P. Mackenzie.
No problem.
Thank you.
One of the things that I want to elaborate on, what Flavius touched on, consumers. Yes, consumers, are the least, what them call it, pay attention to, even though they are, the ones who are buying the music. And I remember one time a producer was in the studio. I'm going to give a whole heap of studio conversation stories this morning, because there are some of them. When you're in the studio, as for me, I was just a worker, and I remember in the studio, another engineer said to me, "When you come to the studio, you must listen. If you're not an artist, just listen, because you're going to hear things that you never hear before, and some of it might be true as well as it's something near." I never say a lie. It might be true or it's something near. And this producer, he was producing an album, a various artist album, and he had problem with the artist. The artist that was there at the time doing the recording was doing so many takes, and he was saying, I'm gonna tell you something. You ever hear the word ad lib? And they say, yeah man. Him say, well, you have to do some ad lib, man, because you're having problem with that chorus line. So why not just do a Dennis Brown thing? Oh, you are, I just say something, do some. He was saying to him at the time, the two best ad lib that he have heard was Dennis Brown and Beanie Man.
Okay.
They could, improvise, space. If they can't catch that line, they say something there, and then they go on to the line. And when the evening was over, and we came outside, him say, the first people we get paid, are the musicians, them, because when you come to the studio, you have to have the money. You have to have the money for studio time. And if you bring a musician, for, if him is a saxophonist or a drummer or whatever, you have to pay him for play that that part where you want him play, or the drum roll where you want it. So they are the first one who get paid. And him say, who you think is the last person get paid? So I say, I don't know. Him say, me. Because I have to make back my money. I have to put out a good song so that the consumers can buy it. Because if them not buy it, boss, me not get no money, me go lose. And me I go end up being the loser.
Yeah.
So it was something that, I make a note of, and I say, wow, I never look at it that way, because I was just coming up in the music business, hanging around them. Even though I work there, sometimes I'm not supposed to be there, but I just go to the studio, go sit down with the engineer and ask him some question and get to find out, what's what, and listen to some of the stories. I mean, sometimes you hear some stories and you say, them man, I lie them I tell because them call some artist name, and you say, what? You make you draw back. You can hear something about some artists that you might be fond of, and you say, no, I lie him I tell. And the next man will say, no man, a true thing, man. You have to see these artists in action, and or something. But on and on, they were talented people. I mean, I sat down one night and say Dennis Brown and another artist named Screwdriver, right, made a song in less than half an hour.
My friend Screwdriver, man.
And I'm telling you, it was cool. I see Dennis Brown did something. I don't even want to share it here, so because I cherish it. I'm not ready for share it yet, but I see Dennis Brown did something in a studio. One day he came inside and heard a rhythm a play, and him just said to the engineer, Carl, let me do something on the track then. And trust me, man, a magic when him finish. Magic. But what he did next, I've never seen another artist do that yet. Never. I hold that for another time.
Yes. Look here, as you said that, let me ask without asking you what he did. The idea of one take, demo voice becoming the hit song. What is your experience on that? When some of the one take, a demo voice, so that they could fix the music around it, and then the artist would come in and do the proper take on it. What is your experience on that?
I've never seen it. I've never seen it with any of these artists.
Yes.
But I heard it, and I remember when I first heard this song, when I'm sitting here watching fools fight themselves.
Yes.
It was just to me, it was a chorus of Dennis Brown, but the way how he did it, because I remember I was asking him one time. I said, "Oh, you do that song?" And him say, "All of the voice on it, and me do it, because he's a good backup artist too, a good backup vocalist too. Yeah, he's very good at that.
Yes.
And him do voiceover and him songs them, a lot. Him can do him backup, add vocals to, chorus line and thing like that. He's good at that. But I can't remember ever heard any artist in our studio with no one line, and it become, a hit or whatever.
No, I don't mean one line. If that's what you're saying the same. I mean, sometimes when you go to the studio with the melody and the lyrics for the musicians to do it, the producer, you do a rough voice, a rough take.
Yeah.
And that rough voice become the main track, which is used and released, and it becomes a hit, or as done well, they don't have to sing it over.
The song that I was telling you about with Dennis Brown, that song is a hit song. It haven't been released yet.
Okay.
It haven't been released, and that's one of the reasons why I don't want to finish that part of the story, because the gentleman who owned that song, I want to bring him on the program.
I see, to
talk
release
the
it.
story. Yeah, to
And
talk
it was
the
a demo
story.
voice. In other words, it was demo voice. Wasn't a final take.
No, he did some more what you call it, backup what you call it, backup vocals on it himself. He did some,
I see.
but not the same day. But
see,
the
okay.
same day, what he did that day, it was magic. And then what he did next was unbelievable. And I even turned to the engineer. The engineer is a famous engineer named Carl Peterson.
Yes.
And I turned to Carl and I said, Carl, I've never seen anyone do this yet since I'm coming here in the studio. I always see them come and do the other way. You know, do the first leg first. And him say, no man, when you in a studio, if you see Dennis Brown, if you see Bob Marley, some great artists, man. If you see them do certain things, man, it blow you away, man. You know, it blow you away. And I mean, that here we got blown away because Hurricane Andrew came and mashed up everything. Because I mean, everything was going smooth. We know that there was a storm out on the sea heading to Florida, but the way how they said it was coming to Florida, it was coming downtown Miami. The next thing we hear said coming from Key West. You know, so but
yes.
But
to go back to the idea of the consumer, which Flavius mentioned and you endorsed, the consumer profile is changing, and in terms of how they access music, what is the impact on the income of the artists, the producers, based on how the music is being consumed now? People are not buying CDs in the abundance that they used to, or the vinyl. The streaming, is it are people are the artists benefiting from that based on the method of consumption?
yes
I am
and
totally
no.
confused.
Yes and no. And the reason why I say yes and no, because I read an article last year where they were talking about how the sales drop on music in general, and it's been dropping from 2017, right? It's been dropping, but in the article it make mention that most people are now buying download the songs, right? They're doing download songs, so people are not buying physical CDs and things like that. I know in Europe they said that vinyl is making a comeback.
Yeah,
Vinyl is making a comeback. So the sales of vinyl is rising. So when most artists with big names in North America put out a album, they put it out now again in vinyl and CD. But I think it's mainly on the platforms of downloading. So with them making the money, I think from what the article said, you know, it's basically download is what is really rising. I remember I heard a famous artist was saying that he judges his record sales by tour, because that's where the money is. When you go on tour, him don't just if his song come out, if his song comes out like say Tuesday or Friday, and him expecting to sell say 200,000 copies, that's what the labeler expects, 200,000 copies going to sell. Even if him sell 50,000 copies, he's not worrying, because he knows that when he hit the road, he's going to cover off back all of that. Because the like record labels going to say, all right, merchandise and concert tours, you get the artists get a percentage of the merchandise, and then the record label them get the bulk, and the artist knows say if him can pack a stadium that holds 72,000 or more, then him knows say boy, him go do good on the tour. If him sell out, because sometimes they know at a time based on the booking agents and the ticket sales, like you know when a Janet Jackson or Bruce Springsteen, some big name artists coming into town, rock, people turn out. Them start buy them tickets early, and from that ticket sale they know okay, the tour going to be a success. But for the album sales, I know CDs not selling like before, but I know people are buying download stuff. As to how much the sales is, helping the artist, I don't know.
Flavor so said he was confused. What was he confused about? May I ask?
I am confused about downloads, streaming, and how money is actually made. That is what I'm confused about.
I'm sure Franco can explain that to you, and Courtney too.
No, well, the streaming, I know about the streaming. Like, the streaming is similar to the same as download because, say, for instance, you have like Apple Music, Spotify, with the next one named Tidal, SoundClouds, YouTube Music. Who else you have? Amazon Music. All of these are, and you have many more too. Are stream.
When you stream it, you play from their platform. You don't have the physical thing on your device. Like if you download it now,
unless you're a culprit like me.
No, you stream and download at the same time.
No. Well, I don't stream. I download. I record.
Download the music. You buy a copy and keep it on your soft in your soft state.
Yeah.
But the streaming is that you can what I think streaming is if I'm correct, you sign up with one of the streaming platforms. And then you can log in and
subscribe. You subscribe to them. You subscribe to them. Yeah.
With a payment.
Yeah.
And yes. So that's what the streaming is. Without trying to be projecting my little dabbling in music. I have lots of music on the internet. If you put in my name, you see my name spread all over in different languages with my music being put up for sale. Now, I put up, this is private business, but let me put it in a way that it doesn't give away much. I have had my first album for sale by VPAL Records, and I have not collected any money on it yet. Not because they don't show me how much I've earned, but there are some small sums. When I look back, maybe in 2016, I may get 1,000 units sold, and I see maybe $7 or $6 and so on, and that money can stay there until it becomes like $100. And then they say that you can get the payment. But I have a couple songs on CD Baby. And if I were waiting to live off it from the streaming, I wouldn't have eaten anything yet. But then the point I'm making is that, to me, music for me is not only about income and riches. Thank God I was able to work so that I didn't have to do that. But it is for legacy and purpose. But the people who live off the music, I'm glad for them who are streaming, because like a coffee, when you hear a music come out and you say they get 100,000 streaming, it adds up. Although it's small units, it adds up and it helps them.
Well, I'm glad you touched on that part.
Yes.
With the units, because I was a bit I never know much about the unit sales until one day I sat down with a producer and he was explaining to me. I still don't even grasp all of what he was trying to say, because he was explaining to me now, like for various artists' albums, and you put out your solo album, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me touch with the solo album first. What he was saying to me was like, say him put out an album with an artist, right? And him going to spend X amount. Let's say if we can work with $20, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can understand. So him knowing budget say $20 for put out this album, and it going cover off mastering, right? Pressing of vinyl, and CD covers, graphics design work, the $20 going break down into all of those areas and thing. All right. Now, the distributor, when him send it to a distributor like as just a CD Baby now.
Yes.
The distributor go and say like say the album sale say it's a 15-track album.
Yes.
And you want say $12.99 for your album.
Yes.
Because after working out all the way you spend and things like that, if you sell it for $12.99, you basically might break even, right? But when it go to the distributor, now the distributor going to say, all right, him going to put on $1 on it more, so it's going to sell now for $13.99.
Yes.
And then that's when the units are moved now.
Yes.
Even when the sales, I say you sell 1,000 copy.
Yes.
Him still from out of that him good the producer good get back maybe about $5.
That's so.
Because it depends on the deal too that he made with the artist.
Yes.
Because sometimes you can give them full payment or half a
Advance
payment.
payment.
Yeah. And then based on the sales of the album now, them get the rest. I remember once they were telling you that this bigger R&B artist, she was broke. And Tony Braxton, and when them asked about she signed like them say she made a shitty deal with LaFace and all of them people there, and they were explaining no, she didn't make a shitty deal. It's just that the label that made the deal with them was only giving her 10 cents per unit. You understand me? She get 10 cents off of the album. All of this when you put up that $20, you know, it take off for everything what's spent to build that album.
Yes.
So the artist, a various artist album now is one of the hardest album to do. Because because you have different artists, you have to go make deal. Say for instance, you is a big name artist, me is a big name artist, and Flavors is a big name artist, and I want
that to big name artist.
and I want all three of you guys on the album.
Yes.
Yeah, so you quote me, all right. And me, I am the producer, and I want all three of you on the album. Plus, I'm doing a 12-track albums, and I have 3 big names, and then the other 9 artists now. Is you 3 guys going to push their songs, you know?
Yes, that is so true.
So the deal I'm going to make with you guys now, you might say, boy, Franco, pay me for one time for the song. Just give me $5,000 for the song. Me I sell you the song for $5,000. And I might say, boy, I wonder if it's worth it. Even though he's a big name, he's a superstar. Me I still wonder if that song worth it, because it might not sell. The album might not sell even though he has a heavyweight on it. Because the song might not be a hit song to the ears of the people. Flavius now on the other hand might give me a song and him say, boy, you wait a man, just give me 500 now, and based on the sales you pay me after. And that song might be the hottest song on the album, but your song me pay you 5,000 already.
That's right.
And the song now and the album still now move. Then it means, because with the other 9 artists now, me have to say, all right, you will get 10 cents, you will get 10 cents, you will get 10 cents. So me I expect the heavyweight artists now to pull the album, and it no must pull. So that deal him always tell me, said those are the hardest deal to deal with. Sometimes it's good to go with a one artist, give 12 songs, and you pay him for the album if it depends on, you know, the deal where you want to make with him, or you say, you know what, make we work together.
Yes.
I pay you for this, I give you X amount of dollars, and you know when the album sell, then you get the rest of money. Okay.
Another question for you, and your 2 hosts. I notice a trend today is to collab with, like a Drake or whoever may have several people on the album. What is this new trend of you just having your album? You have one song on it, and you have a collaboration with. How does that affect the industry in terms of growth? Is it the people who are collabing, the collaborators, the individual, are they getting forward out of it, or is just the one who's the main one who collaborated with those persons?
Well, I don't know about that part. I've never asked inquire on that. But I'm pretty sure maybe it might work similar to the various artists deal.
Maybe.
To the various artists deal.
Yeah.
If you notice, I'm going to use a producer as an example, like DJ Khaled.
Yes. Okay, I was going to refer to him too.
When DJ Khaled put out, and some people think say DJ Khaled lucky, but DJ
Khaled or Khalib?
DJ Khaled. Khalid.
Oh, Khalid.
Yeah.
Oh, so I pronounce. All right. I always have a wrong pronunciation. Thanks.
What him have a I would say him have a master plan to the way or him set up the artist them on the album. All right. Like him did the album with Rihanna on it with Wild Thoughts. And that song it got a lot of earplay that some people think that song would have win a Grammy. But that song was really one of the reasons why the album moved and sell so much. And what he did, him did a blender of the video and the song. And him look for and him know say Rihanna is, if Rihanna have a song and she does say yeah. People are gonna buy it. Just like back in the days of them say if Michael Jackson say he and just keep saying it to go sell. And he run with that one song, even though the rest of songs on it on the album was good, but him run with that one song. So sometimes you have to look at you have to decide so you're gonna spend and he decided to say he was gonna spend money on that album, but it spend on creating the video, and the video was good. Like us, him create the video and then pump the song, because that's another thing. And that's why we can't get rid of what them call it? Payola. We can't get rid of payola.
Yes, man. Big something.
We can't get rid of it. It's here to stay.
We go. Man losing job over it.
Yeah.
I cannot.
When you go to a radio station and you say, all right, this radio station is an urban radio and it have 22 million people are listening to it in the morning, and you say to that disc jockey, every morning you're going to play this song. Every morning. Once that song start dropping every rotation, and it's playing every morning,
People remember it.
People are going to buy it or download it. Because
you become a hit in your own mind.
Yeah. I remember there was a song came out one time, Drop It Like It Hot. I never liked the song one bit. Drop it like it, drop it. And every time I hear the song, I get angry. And man, this idiot song, man, and drop it like it hot. But with Snoop and Pharrell. But I went to this radio station one day and I was talking to a disc jockey, and him said to me, say, you're not the first person them to like the song, but it wear down your ears. The more you hear it, eventually you're going to get to like it. And boom. One day I'm driving and I hear the song and I said, damn, it don't sound too bad, It already tear down my ears already. Like, wear it down. So it sounds like something you'd buy, or download and add it to your collection.
Where is Courtney, the music man?
You see him there in my
word.
Yeah,
come in, Courtney.
You know that I'm an avid listener, but I'd like to, just.
Oh man, we need input, man.
He get fascinated by the story, me I tell.
Now, I'd like to just deviate a little back and go back to the creativity in the music that Franco was discussing about Dennis Brown in the studio. But I don't know if any of you remember this when there was a concert at the stadium that Stevie Wonder was on it with Bob Marley. Yeah. And he created a reggae song right on the stage with his band.
People moving and they jamming. Stuff that I think there was a song, the Marley on top. Something I don't know it. But just put in somewhere. We're jamming till the day of dawn, something like that. We're jamming till the break of dawn. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I will look at you look at this thing about music and and musicians and singers and all of that. And we see that these people, when they're at the height of their creativity, they just can do almost anything with the music because, at the time when I was at that concert, I find that unbelievable. I didn't even know that somebody could do something like that.
True.
Although I've seen it in jazz, watching jazz concerts and all of that people jam and create a song and create sounds. But I never know that I would have the experience of being at the place, listening to something like this. And surely, just to talk about, just to get back to the music on a whole and about reggae music. When you really think of reggae music, how it came about, where it is going right now. Because I remember a DJ, Franco knew him, that was in Miami, who played all different kind of reggae. I didn't know that people in Israel was playing reggae music. People in, all over the place in Nicaragua. This DJ used to play reggae music from all over the world.
Yeah, man, Clint O'Neill.
Clint O'Neill, right? Yeah. That's his name. And, so we look at it and, and looking back when if you check out the whole Caribbean music, they'll tell you that reggae is one of the most popular music in the world.
Yeah, man, that's true, man. I see Clint O'Neill at him best one night, man. Crucial. Clint O'Neill used to do a nighttime show, start like about maybe 11:30 and finish at 5 o'clock in the morning. And that man, the music keep him up all night till daylight. You hear me? Because he you see like how I see. I mean, when you see them man there in them zone, man, it's unbelievable. And he used to broadcast reggae music from Africa, from India. It was unbelievable when him get all of these, And at the time, it was internet. It was internet carrying the feed,
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man, the internet carried the feed at the time. Because I went there one night with a friend of mine named Con Marley. And I'm telling you, man, we spend the whole night with Clint, and it was unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. Because at the time I was doing my research how to start, a radio start an internet radio, So that's it, boy. That's it. I mean, when you see these men in action, you marvel sometimes. You're going to hear stories, good stories and bad stories about them, but them have some great stories. You hear me? And then if you see them in action, you have some respect for them, man, honestly. So, gents, we have come to the end of another, Caribbean feature or music feature, whatever you call it, Flavius. We call it again, Flavius. Music feature.
Yeah.
There's something I want to say before we leave, and it have a lot to do with what I mean. This I won't say little kid, but this youth yesterday, Jonathan, him really dig up. Yeah, him really dig up some. Like you have a battle where you hide. A bottle of roots, so you dig it and you dig a hole and you hide it, but you forget where you hide it and you can't find it, and then dig, a dog a dig one day and look for something and you see the bottle surface up. That's what Jonathan did yesterday. He dug up the whole subject of music, right? And we looking into music now. It's like this morning I was brushing my teeth and looking in the mirror and I was saying, man, the world is really in trouble, No, this song was sung years ago. The world in trouble and living ain't easy, right? You remember you mentioned Bob Marley's song, So Much Trouble in the World. That's
so much trouble.
I don't remember if it's Uprising album or Survival album, but it came out in the 70s, about 78, 79.
Yes.
Right? And when that song was playing, So Much Trouble I think it came out 79, So Much Trouble in the World.
First of all, it was it came out as this B-side B of One Love, the original One Love.
Oh, okay.
You
mean the remake of One Love?
Yes, the remake by Curtis Mayfield, People Get Ready. Oh. So remember now, Bob Marley has an extended mix of about 7 minutes or 12 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm referring to the original short version, which is on the album, on the Exodus album.
Okay.
Yes.
So Much Trouble in the World, I remember.
Yes.
they had a thing they call road blockade in Jamaica. And I was standing up at the bus stop with my friends. We were supposed to decide which way we were going to walk for go home. Because a crowd of people were coming on Spanish Town Road. And they were heading in the direction like they were going to 3 miles and beyond. And we know we're heading in the opposite direction. We were heading towards Maypen Cemetery, going to Industrial Terrace. And when I saw some little children, walking, and I said to one of my friends who were, heading towards us, I said, I know him live in Spanish Town, and I say, yeah, walk go Spanish Town, and him say, yeah, man, see the crowd, yeah, and with some little children, man, I felt it, and I'm like, damn. These people going to walk from all the way wherever he was coming from. He used to go to Tivoli School, and then I walk all the way now to Spanish Town. But when you walk with crowds, you'd like the journey, the distance coming the distance coming like in no time. Whap. But it was during that time that song now made sense to me. Mm-hmm. So much trouble in the world, and this was just Jamaica alone. This was just happening. Mm-hmm. I never look at the broader world outside of Jamaica. I was just referring to what's happening inside of Jamaica, and I just used that song at the time. So much trouble in the world. That album, I'm thinking Survival. I think it was Survival album. That album took me through high school. Yes, because the songs that was on it,
Uprising. Uprising was the last album he put out before he died.
But I know that album took me through high school because the songs them on it. Because before that there was an album named Kaya, and and I know Bad Card was on Kaya, and
Bad Card is on Uprising.
Yes,
man, it's Uprising.
I know on Kaya there's this song, My Woman Is Gone. That's on it because we used to sing it at school. Yes. So looking at it this morning now, and I remember, Dennis Brown's song, the world is in trouble and living ain't easy, and that's what's happening. Yeah, the world is in trouble. And living not easy right now, but people, you listening this morning, just keep the faith and never give up. Never give up, because if you give up, then guess what? You're going to pass. So hold on strong and be strong.
Yeah.
That's a Randy Crawford song, right, Flavius? Hold on, be strong.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful voice, man, Randy Crawford. So
yes, one of my favorite singers.
One of the best.
Randy Crawford, man.
So without anything else? Anything else, men at work?
Well, it has been a fulfilling discussion in terms of looking at various aspects
we're gonna make you do the summary this morning, Errol.
Me?
Yeah.
You started already.
You started already, so we'll make you do it.
All right then. Thank you. Yes, so this morning we took a random look at the music, Caribbean music, reggae music, and the development of music, the impact of music, the role of the consumer, the impact of streaming and downloading, how consumers access music, and the impact on the artists, the importance of the touring, and the fact that touring is not so prolific now, it's coming back. So then it has been an enlightening discussion for me. And we have also tried to encourage those who are involved in producing music to know that their music may not be highlighted now, as it were the case for Marley, but their day will come. And if they do music, not just for fame and earnings, and it is for legacy, it will live on. So create music that will live on and move on through the ages and still be relevant. Because all of the genres of music, from mento, calypso, all of those are flavors mentioned, they are still around. May not be current and popular, but they are still around. So do your thing, musicians, and thank you for the discussion this morning, podcast host team.
All right. Thank you for your summary. We want to thank all those who participate this morning, those in the live YouTube room. Tanya is there, Francine, and many more. Those who didn't participate, we thank you for taking time out as well, and for spending your morning with us, or your afternoon, or your evening, whichever time zone you're in. So please remember to subscribe, like, and share the video. And the object of this channel is to educate you and entertain you. And this is your Caribbean podcast. It's the Real Stuff podcast. So live and love every moment of your life. Be grateful for each new day. Cherish your family and friends. Bless others. Keep the faith. Never lose hope. And remember, prayer changes things regardless of what religion you belong to. You must pray and continue to pray. On behalf of my podcasting team, Francine, Max Juanette, Flavius, Courtney, and we have with us honorary Mr. Bean, the thinking bean, with us this morning. We thank you, and we're going to ask Queen Lubar to say the Our Father in the Garifuna language, and Tafina will take on myself to take us out of here. So take care of yourself and be good.
You lead us to Fula. You belong far away away. Ajuguala lego buseru. Lida mua, lida sungfula. Lida mua, lida sungfula.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough. And I'm
well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know I said me if it could flee. Me have to take away me say. Me have to take away me say. Me have to hide like a thief in the night. Me have to get out of sight.